This skull flag has been raised here, here, and here. What is it, and why is it popping up at protests around the world? In Kathmandu last week, Nepali Gen Z led tens of thousands of protesters into the streets, furious over government corruption. In Indonesia, protests swelled after a 21-year-old was killed by police. Elsewhere, crowds took to the streets in the Philippines and France. So, what does the flag mean? Well, it comes from Japan's best-selling manga, One Piece. In the story, the flag is the Jolly Roger of the Straw Hat Pirates, who don't just hunt treasure, but also fight oppressive powers and demand freedom. For protesters, that message hits home.
Justru ini kan teguran ya untuk pemerintah. Agar pemerintah pada akhirnya benar-benar melihat gitu.
The protests around the world may have different origins, but the frustrations are the same. That's why young people have turned this skull flag into a global banner of defiance and freedom.
One Piece is now the face of rebellion throughout the entire world. Yes, that is right. The #1 anime and manga on the planet, dare I say next to Dragon Ball, has become the face of rebellion. Gen Z all throughout the world, in France, in Indonesia, in the Philippines. What was it? I think it was, what was that other country? I forget the name. Forgot the name of that other, was it Nepal? Well, I think it was Nepal. No, but also in Africa, I believe it was Zimbabwe or Tanzania. I forgot. There was another country in Africa. Sorry, I forgot the name, guys. That was also using the One Piece flag as a sign of rebellion. Absolute rebellion. The Gen Z generation. You know what? I got to give it to you, Gen Z. I'm a millennial. And you Gen Zers got balls, man. You guys have balls of steel. You guys are rising up against the freaking government. You guys are rising up against I am proud of you, man. I wish I was as brave as you. Honestly. I wish I was as brave as you. Gen Z is literally overthrowing governments. I think the other country, I think it was Sri Lanka. I think it was Sri Lanka. I believe it was Sri Lanka. I could be wrong. Guys, help me out here in the comment section. But yeah, so all throughout the world, the flag, the One Piece flag, you know, the skull with the two cross around it with the, you know, with the straw hat, is being used all throughout the world for protests to overthrow governments, and it's working. That is the best part about this. It is working. In the Philippines, it's working. The government in the Philippines, they're scared. In Indonesia, the government had to go into hiding.
The Straw Hat flag from One Piece is taking over the world, rising as a real symbol of rebellion over protests, burning parliaments, and toppled leaders. It began in Indonesia, where protesters raised the Straw Hat flag as a symbol of resistance, standing up to corruption and government failures. And now in Nepal, thousands have marched under that same banner, storming and burning the parliament building, now called the real-life Eni's Lobby. Their movement was so powerful, it forced President Sharma Ali to resign. From Indonesia to Nepal, Oda's story has left the page and taken over reality. The Straw Hat flag isn't just fiction anymore. It's a global symbol of freedom.
This is an iconic flag. It's the flag of the Straw Hat Pirates from One Piece, and it's shown its face all over Nepal in anti-government protests. It wasn't just Nepal, it was also Indonesia and its protests across the country as well this year, even going as far as being banned by the government because it's seen as a threat. What makes One Piece very different is that pirates generally loot and steal from people. But these guys, the Straw Hat Pirates, are the opposite. They go around different regions of the world to fight this tyranny and evil inflicted upon people that live in the different lands. Catching on with the youth and giving us photos like this.
And in France, I don't know how the French are doing. I don't know if it's working in France, but they're doing it. You know, they're fighting. Yo, man, this is crazy. This is crazy. Wow, man. And that shows you how popular One Piece actually is. How popular and how much it has reached people. Because although I have not watched 1,000 episodes of One Piece, I know what it stands for. It's the the One Piece flag is just a symbol of rebellion of freedom. Of freedom, like one Luffy and the gang, they fight tyrants all the time. It's a symbol of freedom, my friend. This is like super cool, man. This is super cool, but there is a downside to this. See, there's a downside. There's a downside because now, especially here in the West, they can point at anime and be like, you see, anime causes violence. You know how like a lot of these Republicans and a lot of the conservatives and and a lot of they like to point at video games and say, oh, you see, video games cause violence. Video games cause violence. It's because of these video games. Well, now they have an excuse to say, oh, you see, anime causes violence. Anime is violent. Kids copy what they do in anime. Well, no, that's not true. They're using One Piece as a symbol because that's what inspired them. That's what inspired them. But they're overthrowing these governments for the simple fact that the government has been cheating them. I mean, here in America, Gen Z, not just Gen Z, but Gen Z and millennials have been given the short end of the stick. I mean, at least millennials, we kind of got a good taste of it in the 2010s, right? We got a good taste of it in the 2010s, and if you are a millennial that kind of like bought a house in the 2010s, then you're good to go. But most of us didn't, okay? But Gen Z became teenagers in the late 2010s, in the late 2010s. And they're now in their 20s. I think that Gen Z has to be like 24, 25 right now. I think some of them are like 19, 18 years old. But they got the short end of the stick. They finished college with a whole bunch of debt. And then the job market is ruined. The housing market is ruined. Everything's ruined. And one of the reasons why we're blaming the boomers is because the boomers built the system that we're dealing with now. Okay, and this is not a video bashing the boomers, but the point is that Gen Z has been screwed over in many parts of the world. The governments around the world are just screwing over Gen Z. I think, man, I gotta look it up. I'm gonna post the article here, but there was a country where they were trying to take the internet and social media away from young people. And then the young people, Gen Z, rebel. I mean, they got up and started just rioting like crazy. And they overthrew the government. Why can't American Gen Z have balls like they do? Because honestly, if it was like this, if everybody got together, I will be right there with you. Get up and protest right next to you, brothers, and overthrow the government. I'm for that. I am for that all the way. I am for that all the way. But one of the reasons why Americans cannot seem to, why protesting in America really don't work is because, there's so much diversity here. And I'm not talking about racial diversity. I'm talking about diversity of the mind, diversity of opinion, right? Like nobody can get on the same page ever. And that's why protests here in America don't work. There's just way too many differences. I mean, I don't want to get political here, but within the the left wing politics, right? You got the liberals, progressives, Democrats, and a couple of others. They're constantly fighting against each other within their own group. How are you gonna get anything done, right? But man, if YouTube is gonna come after me for saying this, but it's just, dude, this can really work. I mean, we see it. We see the Indonesia and the Philippines, rioting with One Piece. Maybe it can work here. Just a thought. Just a thought. YouTube, don't come after me. Government, don't come after me. I'm just saying. What if? What if? Possibility. But yeah, they're not gonna use this as an excuse to attack anime and dump and just hate on anime. And don't be surprised in the news. You're probably gonna see it pretty soon. Oh well, the kids are becoming more violent nowadays because of anime. Blah 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 blah. Frickety blah. You'll see. Well, whatever your thoughts are, make sure to comment below, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell for future notifications. Guys, it's your boy Andy Matrix. Godspeed, baby.